Hello my dear viewers. In this video, we are discussing about the founders of Virashaivism and their teachings. Let us start. First of all, introduction. The Virashaiva tradition posits a direct and divine origin for the Panchacharyas, establishing their supreme authority and spiritual eminence. Each of the five Acharyas is associated with one of the five faces of Shiva or Shivalinga, each representing a specific aspect of the divine and particular direction. This divine origin underscores the belief that the teachings and the practices propagated by the Panchacharyas are not of human construct but are direct revelations from Shiva himself. They are seen as the embodiment of divine wisdom and the guiding light for those seeking spiritual liberation through the Virashaiva path. The Panchacharyas means five preceptors or five teachers hold a significant position in the Virashaiva tradition, which is often considered synonymous with or closely related to Lingayatism. According to the Virashaiva tradition, these five Acharyas are believed to have originated directly from the five faces of Lord Shiva. They are regarded as the founders and the primary propagators of the Virashaiva philosophy and practices. Their names and associated pita, which means the religious seats or monasteries, which are as follows. These Panchacharyas are also known as five Jagat Gurus, which are as follow. First one, Renukacharya. Second one, Darukacharya or Marularadhya. Third one, Eko Ramacharya. Fourth one, Panditaradhya. Fifth one, Vishwaradhya. First one, Renukacharya, associated with the Veerasimhasana at Rambapuri at Balehonnuru in Chikkamangaluru district of Karnataka, India. He is said to have originated from the Sadyojata phase of Shiva. The tradition holds that he taught the Shatsthala philosophy to the sage Agastya. Sadyojata is the western phase of Shiva, which associated with the creation and the element of earth. From this phase emerged Renukacharya. It is considered one of the most ancient and revered centers of the Virashaivism. The Jagadguru of this Pita is regarded as the direct descendant in the lineage of Renukacharya and primary authority on Virashaiva Siddhanta. Second one is Darukacharya or Marularadhya. This Pita is associated with the Saddharma Simhasana, which was initially in Ujjaini, Madhya Pradesh state, India, but later moved to Ujjaini in Ballari district, Karnataka, India. He is believed to have originated from the Vamadeva phase of Shiva. Vamadeva is the northern phase of Shiva associated with preservation and the element of water. From this phase originated Darukacharya or also known as Marularadhya. This Pita plays a crucial role in preserving and propagating the philosophical tenets of Virashaivism as expounded by its founder. Third one is Eko Ramacharya. This Pita is associated with Surya Simhasana at Srishailam, Andhra Pradesh, India. He is said to have originated from Aghora phase of Shiva. Aghora is the southern phase of Shiva associated with destruction and transformation and the element of fire. From this phase manifested Eko Ramacharya. This Pita is associated with Eko Ramacharya. Srishailam has been significant center of Shaiva worship for centuries and the Pita here continues to uphold the Virashaiva tradition. Fourth one, Panditaradhya. This Pita is associated with the Vairagya Simhasana at Kedarnath, which is in the state of Uttarakhand, India. He is believed to have originated from the Tatpurusha phase of Shiva. Tatpurusha is eastern phase of Shiva associated with obscuration and the element of air. From this space arose Panditaradhya. This Pita is associated with Panditaradhya. Its presence in such a spiritually charged location underscores the ascetic and renunciatory aspects within the Virashaiva tradition. Fifth one is Vishwaradhya. This Pita is associated with Jnana Simhasana at Kashi or Varanasi, Uttar Pradesh state, India. He is said to have originated from the Ishanya face of Shiva. Ishanya is upward facing or sometimes considered the northeast face of Shiva, associated with grace, liberation and the element of ether or Akasha. From this space emerged Vishwaradhya. This Pita is associated with Vishwaradhya. Kashi has been center of learning and spiritually pursuit for millennia. The Virashaiva Pita here contributes to its rich religious tapestry. These 5 Pitas, collectively known as Panchapitas, serves as important centers of Virashaiva learning and practice, each headed by Jagadguru, which means spiritual leader, who is considered a successor in the lineage of the respective Acharyas. The Jagadgurus of these 5 Pitas are highly respected spiritual leaders who carries the responsibility of guiding the Virashaiva community, preserving the teachings of the Panchacharyas and promoting the spiritual growth among their followers. They play a vital role in maintaining the unity and continuity of the Virashaiva tradition. It is important to note that while Panchacharyas are central to the Virashaiva tradition and are considered as its founders according to their lore, each of the Panchacharya is associated with Pita, which means religious seat or monastery, which serves as a central hub for dissemination of their teachings and the perpetuation of the Virashaiva tradition. These 5 Pitas, collectively known as Panchapitas, hold immense historical and spiritual significance. The Siddhanta Shikamani, the significant Sanskrit text, is considered a foundational scripture for the Panchapitas and elaborates on the Virashaiva philosophy as taught by the Panchacharyas. Key teachings and philosophy. While each of the Panchacharyas contributed to the foundational principles of Virashaivism, and their teachings collectively emphasize several key aspects, which are as follows. First one, the primacy of Shiva. The Virashaivism is monotheistic tradition centered on the worship of Lord Shiva as the ultimate reality. The Panchacharyas established Shiva as a supreme deity, the source of all creation and ultimate goal of spiritual aspiration. Second one, Shiva Jnana is Shiva Bhakti. For Renukacharya, knowledge and devotion were not separate. True knowledge is born not from intellect alone, but from Bhakti, means loving surrender. He thought that Anubhava, which means direct experience of Shiva, surpasses even the Vedas. Shiva is a supreme reality, which means Paramashiva, and all beings are fundamentally connected to him. Third one is Ishtalinga as the living deity. The Panchacharyas emphasized that Shiva is to be realized within through the personal, variable linga rather than the distant temple idols. The Ishtalinga placed on the body and meditated upon constantly becomes the axis of divine presence in life. A consecrated miniature Shivlinga worn around the neck or on the body represents one's direct and personal connections to the divinity of the Shiva. The fourth one is the Shatsthala philosophy. The doctrine of Shatsthala, which are the 6 stages of spiritual progression, is a core teaching attributed to the Panchacharyas, particularly Renukacharya. This philosophy provides the framework for the devotee's journeys towards Shiva for union with him. Fifth one is the importance of Guru, Linga and Jangama, which are commonly known as three Vedas. The Panchacharyas highlighted the significance of Guru or spiritual teacher, the Linga or a personal Shiva icon, and the Jangama, which means wandering mendicant representing Shiva. In the spiritual life of Virashaiva, these three are considered essential for guidance, connection with the divine, and the spiritual inspiration. Sixth one is Kayaka, also known as work as worship. The principle of Kayaka or honest labor performed without attachment to its fruits and offered to Shiva is a significant aspect of Virashaiva ethics emphasized by the Panchacharyas. It transforms daily life into spiritual practice. Seventh one is Dasoha or service to the community. The concept of Dasoha is selfless service to the community, particularly to the Jangama's fellow devotees, is another important ethical principle rooted in the teachings of the Panchacharyas. It fosters a sense of social responsibility and spiritual solidarity. Eighth one is social equality. While the historical context need to be understood, the teachings attributed to the Panchacharyas and later strongly advocated by Basavanna and other Sharanas emphasized the equality of all devotees regardless of their social background. This challenged the rigid caste system prevalent at that time. Ninth one is inner purity. True worship is internal. Any rituals without sincerity are useless. Tenth one is rejection of ritual formalism. The Panchacharyas opposed external rituals devoid of inner connections. Even yajnas and pujas are hollow. He said if they do not bring one to interior absorption in Shiva, this mirrored the later stand taken by Basava, who often echoes Renukacharya's vision. 11th one is Linga Anga Samya, which means unity of God and devotee. Panchacharyas thought that the devotee, which means Anga, and the God, which means Linga, must be united through continuous awareness, not merely ritual interaction. This foundational concept would become a core metaphysical principle of later Virashaiva philosophy. 12th one, universal access to the divine. The Renukacharya democratized spirituality. He rejected the caste, creed, or gender barriers. His initiation of people across all the social strata made him a pioneer of spiritual egalitarianism. This approach was revolutionary in a world dominated by complex temple rituals, priestly intermediaries, and the caste restrictions. 13th one, Shiva is a jnana and as a consciousness. One of the Dharukacharya's principal teachings is identity of Shiva with the jnana, not merely a deity to be worshipped, but the light of pure consciousness. And the 14th one is discrimination, which means viveka, and the detachment, which means vairagya. Viveka is the discernment between eternal and non-eternal, between the self and Atman, and the body-mind complex. Vairagya is the dispassion towards transient pleasures and illusions that veil the presence of Shiva in all. 15th one, Anubhava as a supreme authority. The Anubhava is not merely an experience that passes, it is the awakened state of being itself, awareness that does not fluctuate with the moods or conditions. It is in this spirit that the later Virashaiva text declares Anubhava is the root, scriptures are its branches. 16th one is the Guru as a inner flame. The Dharukacharya also thought about the role of true Guru, distinguishing between external teachers and inner flame of awareness that arises when one truly seeks. The Guru is not a personality but the mirror in which the seeker recognizes their own divine nature. Though he initiated disciples, he urged them not to become dependent on outer form but to awaken the inner Guru, Shiva, as a jnana within their own consciousness. The 17th one is live with the compassion. The Eko Ramacharya told to the people to live with the kindness, speak the truth and help the others, and encouraging a life of moral integrity, compassion and the community service. This is the real worship of Shiva as a Ishtalinga. The last one is personal devotion. The Pandita Radhya's teachings centered on the direct and personal relationship with the Lord Shiva through the worship of the Ishtalinga. Finally, conclusion. The Jagadgurus of the 5 Pitas are respected as the custodians of their teachings and the guiding forces of the tradition. The Pitas themselves remains vibrant centers of religious learning, practice and the community engagement, playing a crucial role in preserving the rich heritage of Virashaivism. The principles and practices attributed to the Panchacharyas, such as worship of Ishtalinga, the emphasis on Kayaka and Dasoha, and the pursuit of spiritual progress through the Satsthala, continue to shape the lives of millions of devotees, particularly in Karnataka, Andhra Pradesh, Maharashtra, and the other parts of the India. Their teachings provide comprehensive spiritual path aimed at achieving liberation and the union with Lord Shiva. The Panchacharyas are not merely historical figures but are considered divine manifestations who laid the very foundation of the Virashaiva tradition. Their teachings, their establishment of the 5 Pitas and their enduring spiritual legacy continue to guide and inspire generations of devotees on their spiritual journey towards Shiva. Understanding their significance is crucial to comprehending the depth and richness of Virashaiva faith. Thank you.